Are you struggling to start your own manga? Maybe you don't even know how to thumbnail it yet. Like, you've got the story in your head, but when you try to put it down on paper, it just doesn't come out right. Well, that's been me for the past 2 months. I've kept rewriting my script, redoing my thumbnails over and over and over again, chasing perfection, but never feeling like it matched what I imagined in my mind. And that's the problem. When you're not that good yet, perfection just keeps you stuck. You keep redoing the same thing, never feeling ready to move on. But this week, something finally clicked. So, in this video, I'm thumbnailing my entire 21 page one shot. Yes, it's a extra page. And showing you exactly what went wrong. So, hopefully, you don't get stuck like I did and waste 2 months of your life agonizing about what went wrong. But at the same time, those mistakes are the reason I'm even making this video. If I didn't mess this up over and over again, I wouldn't understand what needed to change, or how to make this process easier going forward. So yeah, it sucks in the moment. I wish I could just create a masterpiece without struggle. We all do. But this is the kind of stuff you actually learn from. So it all starts with an idea. I had this big, grand idea for a story. And, every guru out there, every instructor will tell you, don't try to make the next Lord of the Rings, the next One Piece, these grand stories that just go on and on and on. You need something that's short, concise, beginning, middle, end. So I decided, let's try and do like a little self-contained story, like an introduction that takes place within this big story of mine. So we have the scene, the 20 pages, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see how we can condense this into 20 pages. I was really excited to get started on this. But there was immediate friction when I started scripting. I was listening to advice from someone, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but it just didn't work for me. And that advice probably works for some people, but it was basically like the Marvel method for comics, where every page is basically just a summary, like, oh, they're sitting around the fire telling campfire stories. Two people across from each other, it's raining, blah, 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 it's nighttime, fire, there's a horse in the background, blah, blah, blah. And it just didn't work for me. But, because I'm dumb, I did my entire script that way. And when I was done with it, I'm like, well, I don't have any idea how I want the panels to look. I have no idea what each character is saying. Everything is just in the air, I have no idea how it's going to look. So I had to go back, redo everything. I redid everything. And that original script took me like 2 weeks to do. So at that point, I'm like, well, now I have even more work to do because I have to think about composition, not only page composition, but panel composition, dialogue. It took 3 times longer to do the revision of the thumbnails. Sorry, I haven't even gotten to the thumbnails. This was the script. So at that point, it's been like 4 weeks when I finally got my script done. And when I was looking at this, when I had the script finished, I'm like, okay, this is good. But I still didn't know how to draw the panels, But I was like, whatever, we'll move on to thumbnails because that's the whole point of it. So I got into thumbnails. I started thumbnailing. And immediately I was just like, this is not working. I have no idea how these panels are looking. My brain is thinking like, okay, 2 people fighting. And in my head, it looks one way, but I have no idea how to draw that on paper, even in a scribbly thumbnail kind of way. And this is where my lack of skill comes in. I'm trying to make everything look polished and perfect on these dinky little thumbnails when I don't even have the skills or the library of compositions to work from. So I went back and redid everything, trying to make them more dynamic. And Eventually, I just had to settle on something because I watched a really good video on perfectionism, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of just procrastinating and going over the, just going back over and over and over again, just redoing it because it's not perfect enough. When the whole point of this one shot project was for practice. It's not like I'm trying to sell this. It's not like I'm trying to enter this into a competition. It's not like I'm going to Shonen Jump saying, hey guys, here's the next masterpiece. Like, not even close. It's just for practice. And I'm trying to just make it something that's so much more than it has to be. So eventually I had to just decide it is what it is. This is what it's going to look like. If we can change things on the actual full page penciling, then so be it. But we just have to do thumbnail. It's been 6 weeks at this point since I decided to start scripting, and I had nothing to show for it. So I had to get something on paper. Otherwise, we'll be into 2027 and I still haven't even started this project. But yeah, so I overestimated the process a little bit. I overestimated my skill. There's a lot that goes into it that I just haven't learned yet. And a lot of people just don't teach that part, I've noticed. There's so many people who are like, oh, I'll teach you how to draw manga. And it's the same typical, expressions, figure drawing. When honestly, like, panel composition, page composition, like, camera angles, like, some of that stuff just few and far between, especially on YouTube. So, yeah, I was overthinking the whole process. And just this last week, I watched a video on YouTube. So the title was Sketching Screen Cap Studies, What I Do to Get Better at Comic Storyboarding by Cosmic Spectrum Art YouTube channel. And honestly, like, I had been looking for a video like this on YouTube for like the past like 3 or 4 months. Just like, I'll put in the search bar how to do comic or how to do manga storyboarding or thumbnails. Nothing pops up. Like, nothing, besides the same stuff that you always see. And then, I was just browsing one day, watching some stuff I'll never admit to, and there it was on the sidebar. 4 months ago, it was uploaded. And I'm like, well, where was this? Anyways, so this video really kind of opened my eyes to the storyboarding process. What this person suggested doing was just basically pausing a movie and drawing the scene. Probably finding really good camera angles and then drawing what you see. And their whole thought process was, you're adding this to your bank of ideas. That's what they kind of say with like when you draw a lot, all that repetition gets added to your brain, kind of. So when you try to draw again from memory, you have this knowledge to fall back on, so it's easier. So basically, what I'm going to start doing moving forward is going through like really fun anime that I like, or really good movies, like movies that kind of fit the genre that I want to do. Like, so for like movies like Lord of the Rings, Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven, all those fun kind of like medieval fantasies, sword fighting movies. Or, some like good anime too, maybe. Like maybe I'll go through and watch Berserk and just study the camera angles. Berserk, Sword of the Stranger is a good movie that has a lot of good fight scenes, sword fighting scenes. Sword Art Online, maybe. Bleach, I don't know. Stuff that has good animation with good camera angles. And if I pause the scene, draw them out, draw really cool angles, add them to my repertoire, because they also said you'll have this, like, if you do them in your sketchbook, it's like you have this catalog to look through. So when you're trying to do your comic, it's like, oh, I need a close up, and it needs to be overhead, and then you go through and like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. I've done it before. So anyways, this is kind of becoming a bit of a ramble, but yeah, so like the thumbnailing process. It's like it all comes down to perfectionism and lack of skill. And it's tough because this kind of stuff is just not taught enough, I feel like. And it's not the funnest thing to learn, when you're learning to draw, you're just like, I want to draw hot anime girls, you know. You're not like, camera angles, composition. It's like learning perspective. It's just like, okay, boring. But you got to do it, and if you don't do it, you're going to struggle like me. You're going to waste like 3 months of your life stressing out about how your thumbnails look like crap and you'll never draw a manga and you'll hate your life. Anyways, so we got the thumbnails done and we're going to move on to the penciling. And my whole goal for this was to do 1 page a week because God knows I'm not good enough to draw everything that I want to draw. Like the first page is a landscape establishing shot. I suck at landscapes, so I'll need to practice them. Page 2, it's going to have a character that's in full armor. I've drawn some armor in the past, like really simple stuff, but I could definitely use a refresher. And I'm definitely not confident that I'm good enough for my dumb perfectionist tastes. So the week is to just practice enough and then get something down, And I got to keep telling myself that this is for practice, This is for practice. It doesn't matter how bad it looks. Just get something down and learn from it. Like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. As much as I want it to be the next Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Big Three, whatever, it's not going to be. It's going to be a joke. No one will want to read it. It'll lose every competition it enters. It's for practice. That's all it's for. Learn from it and apply it to the next project and then the next one. And then eventually maybe I'll draw something that's good enough to get some eyeballs on it, Maybe something that's good enough to enter into a competition. Anyways, so the next step of the project will be the penciling step. Page 1. So page 1, 1 week. Page 2, 2 week. Week 2. Page 3, week 3. And I'm going to be building on the skills. So it's like, landscapes, week 1. Armor, week 2. Maybe animals like horses, week 3. I want to learn something new every week and apply it to my manga. So, anyways, this has been a ramble. I'm not good at just talking off the cuff, so forgive me. And I'm looking forward to actually getting started with the penciling. So, join me next time, and hopefully it's better than I think it will be. Anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging around, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.